But if you're a little bit better in many different things, it's a recipe that's very, very difficult for your competitors to copy. I think speed is a superpower. When you can deliver something quicker, when you can help someone learn faster, I think it's a major superpower. And I think that money just makes you more of what you were before you made money.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Business Narrative. Today we are joined by Nicholas Galtos, an Olympian turned into an entrepreneur. And today we will be going to discuss how he has built a global business language center empire. Nicola, thank you so much for your precious time.
I'm very happy to be here with you.
The pleasure is all mine. So let's start with this. How did your Olympian experience help you to build a global business worldwide?
I think today in the TikTok, Instagram phenomena that's going on, we see these instant successes. And I think if you're going to become an Olympic athlete or if you're going to become an Olympic entrepreneur, nothing happens overnight, or maybe it does for one in 10,000 people. But I think the key to that was, you know, what you do every day, getting up, going running, going to the gym, going to trainings, having defeats, having victories. I was a hockey player, so I participated in the 1992 Olympics. I actually sat at a table when the dream team, the American basketball, was at the table having a meal one day. So that was pretty phenomenal to see them there as well. And I think in terms of business, not expecting overnight success, being prepared to do the small things better step by step, which is something that I've always focused on. I think that if you come up with one great idea in business, it becomes very obvious, and then all your competitors can copy it very quickly. But if you're a little bit better in many different things, it's a recipe that's very, very difficult for your competitors to copy. I think it's the same in a sports, whether it's cricket, whether it's rugby, whether it's hockey, whether it's another sport. The great teams, maybe you can say, yes, they have great players, but they're a little bit fitter, they're a little bit faster, they're a little bit better in defense, they're a little bit better in attack. So I think small incremental improvements over a medium to long period of time is maybe it's not a very sexy secret for young people to hear today, but I think it's a secret nevertheless.
I'm very curious to know, why did you choose to start a language center after retiring from professional hockey? You had many options at that particular time, but you focused to start this language center. Like, why? What was the main reason? What was the make and break point for you?
Well, actually, it was, let me think back. It was around 1986, and I found myself in Switzerland playing professional hockey. And professional hockey in Switzerland at the time left me with a lot of spare time during the day. So I'm a person, I like to keep very active. I was looking for something to do during the day, and I stumbled across what I thought was a trading company, but it turned out to be a language school. And I joined them just to teach English a couple of hours a day to occupy my mind. And very quickly, I realized that the business there was had some very good elements to it, and it was growing very, very quickly. And so I realized that I had to go through that transition from purely sports to sports and business. So unfortunately, I wasn't playing football, which where maybe people make millions a year. So it wasn't as if I could retire on my football earnings or my hockey earnings, right? So I needed to have an after sports. So I joined their company teaching English, and then moved across into sales. And the owner of the company was very interested in a particular experience I had in franchising from Australia, where I come from originally, because I had worked in my father's company for several years and we were involved in franchising. And he wanted to open a chain of language schools around the world. So I started putting the program together with him on how to open these schools all around the world, helped him with some negotiations. And after 2 years, I said, I'm busy making him rich. I think I should become rich. And so instead of just working for him, I asked to open a franchise. So I opened one, then another, then another. Then I bought him out of the rights to the business in Switzerland. He moved to another country. Then I opened in France. Then I opened in Germany. and over the years had several schools. At the peak, there was over 40 schools around Europe. And then as time went by, I sold some of the schools. So I think the biggest thing was I was very happy working in the business. I love the business. I still have the business. Um, but I was a little bit more of an entrepreneur and wanted to be more independent, wanted to make my own decisions. So I moved across that way.
So, what was the biggest challenge when you started your journey? Like when you launched these language centers, what was the biggest challenge you faced and you want to share with the audience?
I had a lot of success with my very first school in Lausanne, Switzerland. And within 2 years, I had the possibility of opening another school in Geneva, which is a very famous international city. So I opened the school there, and my that gave me my first major problem, which was I couldn't be constantly in two places at one time. So I realized that I had to leverage myself through not just through money, because I found money and investment. What I had to leverage was my time. I have to leverage myself through people, and I had to learn to find other people, the right people, which is always a challenge. I think it's maybe one of the biggest challenges, but it's also one of the most satisfying challenges. And I learned a third thing, which was to leverage myself through systems. So discovering kind of like a recipe for making a fantastic meal and being able to replicate that recipe consistently in several different businesses, find the right people who could enact that recipe, and then together with them continue to improve it, as we said earlier, on a daily basis so that the systems will constantly getting better. So once I opened my second unit, that was the biggest challenge. How do I replicate myself, which is obviously impossible. So the key to expansion after that was finding the right people, creating the right systems, and never-ending improvement of those systems.
So, do let me know what motivates you to help people to find confidence through language learning. Like, what are some motivations you want to share with the audience?
Well, first of all, I love the business of language learning because I think it's something where when we sell a product, I've never heard anyone say that they were damaged by learning another language. So I feel as if we're always offering some sort of real value. I probably wouldn't be very good at selling other products, which I know go down in value. I think that the more languages you speak, the more people you can meet. Everyone talks about the power of networking. When you speak a person's native language, you're showing respect to that person to get a feel for the culture behind that person, because language is not just for communication, it's for communicating culture. I've now moved from Switzerland to Dubai, and one of my goals is to learn Gulf Arabic because I think it's respectful to the local people here. I've always learned the language in different countries where I've lived, and I think that's very important. So that's the reason I respect and I enjoy working with languages. The second part of your question was about inspiring and helping other people to grow. We're a learning company, so we're helping people to learn, but that means we have to keep learning and growing. I believe in Europe we were one of the first, at least in terms of small and medium-sized companies at the time. We were one of the first to use very sophisticated CRMs. So I was using a CRM way back in the 80s when CRMs, I think it was called Telemagic. And then we moved across to Goldmine, then we moved across to some other program, and then finally to Salesforce and now to HubSpot. So we were using CRMs for many, many, many years because I could see it as a way of helping us to be more efficient and give a better service, not just to our clients, but also to work our systems quicker. Because I'm a huge believer, maybe that comes back to my sports career, in speed. I think speed is a superpower. When you can deliver something quicker, when you can help someone learn faster, I think it's a major superpower and it's a huge advantage in any kind of business. And CRMs were helping with that. Later on, we went across to our own intranet system. I think before any company of our size I knew had done that. We moved across to a CRM, an intranet system, and actually we'd been using it for many years pre-COVID. When COVID hit, I remember in Switzerland we had 3,500 students. They closed our schools on the Friday. By the Monday, we were delivering online learning to 3,500 students. We didn't have a single person cancel their contract. it took us a weekend, and mainly because with our intranet and all our different teachers, hundreds of teachers and other people being so used to communicating online, we were able to teach them how to use Zoom, which seems ridiculously easy now. We were able to digitalize a lot of our teaching material within literally 48 hours. So I think that, okay, I'm getting older. I'm 67 years young, but I think I can continue to use technology as much as anyone else. My father's 92 and he still uses technology to a good degree. So I think that technology gave us a major advantage in terms of speed and communication, both for our employees and our team members, and also for our customers as well.
With the evolution of AI, everybody wants to learn everything in just few days. I think that cannot be possible practically. So, like whenever client reaches you, what are three problems they want you to solve as quick as you can?
Probably the three problems, I think it comes back. Most people know that it would be a great advantage to learn a language, but they just believe that it takes so many years that it's not worth the effort. And with modern technology, with online learning, with blended learning, um, using technology, but also naturally using excellent teachers as well, uh, you can learn a language literally within less than a year to a good level. You're not going to be perfect, but you can learn to a good level. So people who've got a full-time job, if they dedicate 3-4 hours a week, which is quite a lot of time, within a year, I've had people within 6 months who've gone from nothing to a B2 level in French, for example, within 10 months. So you can already be communicating well within 3 to 6 months, and within a year, you can be communicating in a very interesting way. Not perfectly, but in a very interesting way. So speed of learning would be the first thing that I think is an advantage that we offer our clients. I think the second thing that people are looking for is, will I really learn? Because there's so many crazy promises you see on the internet. I mean, I see them every day where people say, you be fluent in French in 3 months. That's physically impossible. It's intellectually, physically, it's impossible. In fact, it's a lie. So we're very honest and direct with people. We can mathematically show them how much time they put in per week, how quickly they'll get to a very precise level, and then we give a guarantee of learning. If they don't get to that level and they dedicated the time that we told them, we'll give them free lessons until they get to that level. So I think that the speed of learning, and also, am I sure I'm spending my money in the right place? Giving them a learning guarantee. I think those are probably the two things that are the most important. Afterwards, there probably is a third one as well. You know, the more connected we are when it comes to using the internet and all the rest of it like that, I think the more divorced we are from real human interaction. And language is supposed to be about interaction. So in our schools, we also have a lot of social events, parties, breakfasts, different workshops and things to get people together. So they may study online and they do some lessons online, but then they enjoy coming to the school to really interact with each other, have a party. We put DJs in our schools. Sometimes we have a dance. I mean, like, you want to make it fun as well, because and I get a little bit bothered when people of my age or younger or older criticize Generation Z. I mean, my dad wants stuff done yesterday, and he's 92 years of age. He gets bored quickly, and he's 92 years of age. So it's not just Generation Zs that want instant satisfaction. I think the younger generation is influencing dramatically the older generation. So we all want that speed, but we're all seeing so much communication out there that we're unsure if we're making the right choice. So building a brand which people can trust, where people go, yes, I know people who've learned with them and they had great success. I think that's another thing which is very, very important. And that, of course, it's difficult to build a brand in a few months. It's often takes a lot longer than that.
With the rise of AI, do you think why is learning language is still relevant? And on the other side, I want you to tell some quick exercises to those people who are watching this so that they can improve their communication skills in few weeks. Two or three practical exercises.
I think AI is going to help language learning. We're using AI obviously in the marketing side of our business, in the sales side of the business. We're using that to increase efficiency when it comes to administration. which means we can answer customer questions quickly. If a person calls us, one of our goals in the next couple of months, and it's quite funny because I know that you're linked to that as well. But one of our goals is if a person calls us after hours and we're not there, we don't want to just take a message. We want to use AI to be able to answer some of their questions, possibly book a demonstration for them the next day. Um, AI, we're introducing it as part of our online study program. So AI will be able to act as like a tutor, a live tutor there with the student while they're studying, but still it will not replace the personal interaction with the teacher, be it in a group or be it one-to-one. So I think AI is a huge asset. I don't think it will replace language learning. If I were to write to you in Spanish, I can write my message in English and have it translated instantaneously into Spanish and send it to you, and you can bring it back to English, French, whatever other language you want. But if you and I were to sit down, uh, tonight I'm in Dubai at a very nice golf course. There's an outdoor place where we all sit down. I've gone there 2 or 3 times. I've already had interactions with people speaking Italian, people speaking French, people speaking Spanish. What am I going to do? Take my phone and hold it up and get you go backwards and forwards? You can really have a human interaction because I can speak that language, which often surprises them. So I think that AI is going to make language learning easier. It's going to assist us. I think only a human teacher can personalize the learning experience. I don't think that AI is able to do that yet. And I think you need that cultural exchange with a human being because that's what we learn languages for. And I think that the individuals will still be motivated to learn languages because if someone meets a very interesting person, I don't think they always want to be communicating through their phone or through glasses or artificial intelligence. I think they want to have a one-on-one. If you and I are playing golf together, I don't think we're going to stop and take our phones and translate what each other's saying. We'd rather just talk to each other. I see AI as a huge step forward, just like CRMs were, just like the internet was, just like Word, Excel, everything else. It's a huge step forward, but it's not going to replace the need to learn languages.
Nicola, we had a lot of things to discuss. We had a lot of things to cover. But before leaving, if you get a chance to give one sort of advice to your younger self, what will be that advice?
I was always very self-motivated. If I wanted to do something, I got up and I just did it. I didn't think too much about it. So I started off in life thinking that I could motivate everybody, and be it sports teams or be it hiring people for my company, I thought, if the person's got the technical ability, I'll hire them, then I can get them motivated. But with age, I realized that you can do that if there's only 2 or 3 people in your company, maybe. But when you want to grow bigger, it's much easier to hire intelligent, motivated people, ambitious people, and then do your best not to demotivate them. It's much easier. My old Greek Russian grandfather, who worked with me for a few years doing the accounting in a company I ran for my father many years ago, he always reminded me that our family came from the shipping industry in Greece. And he used to say, Nick, there's 2 ways of making a boat go faster. You can put more horsepower on the back, a bigger engine. And he said, you're very good at that. You can drive things forward. He said, but as you get older, you're going to need to learn the second part, which is to take the boat out of the water, clean the hull, streamline it, make it so it cuts through the water quicker. And so I think that's what hiring the right people does, doing your best not to demotivate them, um, making sure you've got the right systems on board, learning that secret sauce that makes your business better, quicker, um, surer for the customer. These things are important as well. So I think the lessons I would, if I had to go back, I'd say, dude, you cannot carry 50 people on your back. You need to find people that will help you share the load, right? That would be the first one. The second one, which I'm very fortunate because I had a father that assisted me a lot in that domain. You don't need to know exactly who you want to be, where you want to go. It takes sometimes many years to find your true mission in life or your true goal in life. It doesn't matter. What matters is whatever you're doing, give it your absolute best. And if you give it your absolute best, something good will happen. You're going to meet the right person. I was 3 weeks ago in Australia. I went to a restaurant and it was absolutely fantastic. And before the restaurant, there was a cocktail that came out. My son, my wife, and I were there, and they made these cocktails, and these cocktails were incredible, incredible cocktails. So much so I got up and I went to the bar to see who made these cocktails. And there was a young guy from Belgium there. And I said, these are like world class cocktails. I can't believe how well you made them. And he said, well, I'm very passionate about cocktails. He told me a story and I couldn't resist. I said, you know, young man, you're working behind a bar. You should come to Dubai because there's so much potential in this city. 2 days ago, he sent me a text message. He said, Mr. Galtos, he said, I've been thinking about it. I really want to come to Dubai. I have a real estate project that I'm interested in. He said, I'm there. If you want me, I'll come over. You see, that was a young man that wasn't planning on working in real estate, but he was making cocktails and he did it to the best of his ability. And that opens a door up to him to the next step, maybe up. Maybe he doesn't stay with me for too long, he goes somewhere else. I think too often in life, we have people, older people, that say to us, you have to be, you should know where you're going. You should know what you're doing. I never knew. I never knew. I had to, it took many years to fall into it, except for my sport. That I knew. So I think just giving your absolute best every day. You want to get fitter, you don't talk about it. You eat a little less, you exercise a little bit more, you do a little bit of stretching, all the boring stuff that you don't want to do, right? You want to do better at work. I'm listening to podcasts like your own. I'm reading things. I'm watching things on TikTok. I'm not wasting my time on stupid things. I'm training the algorithm to feed me what I need it to feed me so I can grow my mind and keep moving. If you can keep growing, you're going to fall into something where one day you're going to go, oh, bingo, this is something I love. There's a handful of people in this world that wake up at 10 years of age and say, I'm going to be a doctor. Bless them. Well, that's wonderful for them. I was never like that. And I think very often young people are afraid that they don't really know where they're going to go. No big deal. Just keep growing, keep doing the best you can, and there's going to be a door that's going to open up for you as long as you have your eyes open.
Thank you so much, Nicola, for your precious time. And I hope all the viewers, all the listeners will going to love the podcast. If you love the podcast, do subscribe the channel, press the bell icon, and we will be going to meet you in another exciting episode with another exciting guest. Till then, keep dating, keep listening, and keep achieving your goals.